I'm just going to try and ignore it.
Okay, name and age.
Fiona Thompson, 37.
Okay, do you download music?
I do, yeah.
Do you illegally download music or do you buy music?
I do both.
Roughly how much would you say you do for each as a percentage?
I would say 70% illegal.
Okay. Is the quality of the music different between pirate music and music that you buy?
Yeah. Sometimes it's totally fine. I mean, the bot stuff's always fine. The other stuff, usually it's fine, but occasionally it cuts off before the end, or sometimes it's interrupted with a voice saying, this is illegal, you shouldn't do this, or something like that. So, yeah, it can be a bit worse. Cutting off before the end is the worst thing.
Okay, what sites do you use to legally download or illegally download music?
I use iTunes to legally download and LimeWire to illegally download.
How did you find out about these sites?
iTunes is just kind of everywhere and everybody's heard of it, and it's like the most famous legal one, I think, and because I've got an iPod and Apple and everything, it's all connected. And the other one, I think one of my friends told me about.
How effective are these sites compared to one another? Is an illegal site easier to use as opposed to a legal site?
I find iTunes really far easier. I mean, admittedly you have to pay, but on LimeWire sometimes it stalls, and so halfway through the download it just seems to stop, or it takes like half an hour instead of like 2 seconds or whatever. So I find it a lot slower and quite often quite frustrating. You know, so sometimes if you're feeling rich, it's nice to pay for it, and then you haven't got any problems.
Okay, how long a week would you say you spend on these sites?
Oh, not even every week. Probably like an hour a month or something like that.
Why do you think people would risk being fined for pirate music as opposed to just buying it?
I think everybody thinks they won't get in any trouble, because you never hear of anyone, or you almost never hear of anyone getting in any trouble, and you just think, well, what are the chances? Like 1 in 10,000 that you might get in trouble, so you don't worry about it.
Do you believe that you could actually get in trouble for illegally downloading music, or is it just a myth?
I think you could. I think it's unlikely, but yeah, knowing my luck, I would get caught. And in fact, I think on your computer you can turn off like sharing the file with other users, and I think I tried to do that once because I felt that you can only be prosecuted, I think, for giving it out rather than taking it. I'm not sure about that, but I definitely am a little bit worried about it.
Is it fair to say that the prices of music are expensive, especially as artists are asking you already to buy their album?
I mean, you know, I'm earning money and stuff, so it's not that expensive, but it is a bit off-putting. I mean, you know, 10 quid or whatever for an album. It's still quite a bit of money, I think. If it was a fiver, I mean, everyone could spend a fiver without worrying about it, but £10 is quite
Okay, what price would you say is a reasonable price for music?
Maybe like 50p a song, 40p a song, something like that. So about half what it is now.
Why do you think that people wouldn't support their favourite artists and buy their music as opposed to illegally downloading it?
I think quite a lot of people actually pay for the artists that they like, or that's what I've heard them say. I don't know if it's true or not. And again, at the end of the day, I think people are selfish, and they just think, well, what difference is my £10 going to make? They're rich anyway, or whatever. I think for a struggling artist, people maybe feel a bit more guilty and might buy their music.
75% of the downloaded community who illegally download music are teenagers. Why do you think this is?
I think teenagers, maybe, I mean, I don't want to make any horrible generalisations, but maybe they're a little bit less worried about breaking the rules. You know, it's kind of like a slightly cool teenage thing to do, to rebel and not conform in society kind of thing. Also, I think, I mean, they're probably earning the least amount of money, and so, like, for financial reasons, they're going to want to get something for free.
What do you think the attraction is to getting something illegal?
It can be a bit of a thrill. Like I say, teenagers, not just teenagers, but, you know, certain elements just, you know, like to not conform to the rules of society, and so you can have a little thrill.
Do you think that illegal music streaming is effectively damaging the music industry as a whole?
They say that it is. The music industry says it is, and I probably believe them. But then you look at some artists and they're so incredibly rich still. If you look like a new artist like Lady Gaga, who's only been around since music streaming's been around, I bet she's still incredibly rich. So yeah, it probably is damaging the music industry, but there's an argument to say that sometimes the really big stars can certainly afford it anyway.
Do you believe that people would ever stop illegally downloading music?
You mean individuals or maybe when you get a bit older, you might, and richer, you might sort of stop if you did it when you were young. If you earn well, I think you might well stop.
What suggestions would you have on the ways the music industry or the download community as a whole could possibly stop?
That's quite a hard question. Only that they're more public in their prosecution of people, so that people are regularly and clearly getting fined, and that's the only thing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.